Hey, and we're back. This is Minding Your Business with the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. I'm Chris Spiker of Antelope Valley Florist. Co-host Aaron Goldstein, Goldstein Digital. Who's our next guest?
Our next guest is Zac Cullen from Allstate Insurance.
Hey, Zac.
How you doing, buddy?
Wonderful. I've seen you on the buses.
You know what? They're doing great. I really enjoy getting out there in front of the community like that. I hear a lot about it, so that's good. It seems to be working. If you hear a lot about it, it's a good thing, right?
Well, it's out there. It's huge.
Yeah, it works. It works. Good
What,
media.
Zac happens? What is it?
It's it happens. I don't know if
It
I can
happens.
say that.
I get it.
You do? All right. Well,
But we got a couple of the suggestions. So, you know, we just had some fires up in the local hills.
we did.
And you and I were talking about how to, what should I do and what's going on and what's the type of insurance I buy if I live up in the hills. Do I have a claim?
Yeah, well, you know, right now there's a lot of stuff going on with the brush concerns in a lot of areas, and the insurance industry as a whole has changed quite a bit because of the concerns of what can happen in fire, high brush areas. And so a lot of companies pulled back, stopped writing insurance in California, one of those companies being Allstate Insurance. So we end up brokering out through other carriers who are niche-y and find ways to insure properties that other insurance companies won't. So we have some carriers like Northlight, that'll do stuff that only would be issued by California Fair Plan. And so we're able to give somebody like an HO3 policy, which is a complete policy, where they otherwise wouldn't have been able to get it. So, you know, the industry as a whole has changed quite a bit due to the fires. And every season, every time we come up, I don't know who coined the term fire season, but that seems to always spark an interest. You know?
Spark. Oh, that's good. I think it's just like the Wind Festival.
Yeah, right.
It starts on what? It goes January 1st to December 31st or something like that. It's just every day.
Every day.
Fire season.
Fire season.
So since we live in California, we're on the cutting edge here, aren't we?
Yeah, most of the time we have all the fun things happen out here first. So a lot of the insurance companies, when you take about the Bible Belt and all that, they don't have to worry about anything other than tornadoes. But you know,
That's horrible when it happens.
it is horrible when it happens. But the fires can be devastating, and you know, especially in certain areas like up in Bear Valley and Tehachapi, that area where they're kind of in a bowl. You know, that could be very scary up there. So making sure you have proper fire clearances, especially in those brush areas, is a big concern. Making sure that you take precautionary measures if there is a fire in the area and you're asked to leave. You know, make sure you leave. I know we've had some people. Yeah, we've had some people stick around. And
I'm going to stay on the roof with a hose.
yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
With a 30-foot flame.
Yeah,
So,
and no water pressure.
all right.
Because everybody else. So people, you're not. I know you, and so you're not just out to make the sale.
No.
But in these areas with these special types of policies, you could almost be a consultant for it.
That's the way we like to look at ourselves. I know I look at myself as a trusted advisor when it comes to insurance. People look at insurance like, well, I can do that. I can go online and buy it, look at the best price. But we like to build what I call like a bulletproof vest when it comes to insurance policy.
Yeah.
And we tailor them. You know, people with brush concerns don't have the same concerns that people living in a tract house have. So it's definitely something that we take serious, and we always like to do policy reviews every year to make sure our clients are properly insured. A lot of people take it for granted, but most people aren't covered properly and don't have the proper coverage on their homes that they should. And most people have the same homeowners policy that they had when they closed escrow, and they just never shopped it again. You know, and that's always a concern to me too, because most of the time it's just a box cookie cutter type of policy, and so you have never even reviewed your coverages with anybody, and you just think you're fine as long as it's included in your mortgage payment. You don't think about it, and it's scary sometimes when we go through some of these policies with some of these people.
And it's no big deal to review it.
Oh, no, not at all.
How much do you charge for that?
We do it for free. Absolutely. And
Free.
Yeah. 90% of the time we end up saving people money too. So that's and with more coverage, and like I said, we tailor that suit to make sure that it fits what their actual needs are. You know, so
What about earthquakes? Do's and don'ts of earthquake insurance.
that's a sketchy subject for most people, just because it's hard to really wrap your head around getting something on your home that's not required. You know, I don't know. Auto insurance is required. Home insurance is required. Earthquake insurance isn't required. So a lot of people choose not to take it. But you know, when the economy was lower and housing prices were low, and a lot of people didn't have very much equity, that might have made sense because you were saving money. But now, with housing prices where they are in the market where they're at, if there was an earthquake and your house fell down, your home insurance isn't going to cover it. So if you only owe $100,000 on your house and your house is worth $350,000, you're just out that money. You know, FEMA's going to come in and help you survive, but they're not going to rebuild your house. And so, in my opinion, it's usually if you're in an equity position of 75% or more, I would highly advise getting an earthquake policy and make sure that you know, the coverages are right. A lot of them are very, very inexpensive, especially if you're a little bit off the fault line, even in the center of the Antelope Valley. Very inexpensive. We're talking $200-300 a year. So.
Lump in throat. So I'm thinking, how could there be such a bad earthquake? I guess we're in denial, aren't we?
I think
Well, it's just
so.
going to be a little shake, and maybe the plaster will crack a little bit.
Yeah. Well, the thing when you think about an earthquake, for an earthquake policy to actually pay out, the earthquake itself has to cause structural damage to the house. So that means it has to shake so hard it's going to snap the framing of the house, things like that. And when that happens to one house, I mean, you can imagine what happens to the rest of the valley. So even in that type of setting, if we had the big one, you know, the 8-point San Andreas that everyone's fearing, the valley floor would just be completely disintegrated. So these policies aren't built just to rebuild your house; they're also built to get you out of the area. So if you wanted to move out and take your money somewhere else and build a new house somewhere else, you could do that. You wouldn't have to necessarily stay in the house you're in a lot of cases. So I think that when you think about the big one, you know, that's one instance of it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the big 8.0 that's going to level the valley to pay off on an earthquake policy. If you're up closer to the epicenter of the earthquake, obviously it's going to be a little bit more damaging. So for a small premium, it's nice to have that peace of mind, in my opinion. You know, but again, if you don't have very much equity in your house,
You're walking away,
that's it. You know, that's what you do.
if and when.
Yep. Yep. That's it.
And the hurricane insurance pretty cheap right now?
And in Palmdale, you can get it for 1 penny. I'm selling it all day long.
I was for sure there was a time last year we were in a hurricane.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty windy.
I remember one time where it was seemed like a tornado touched down here. It was a couple of years ago. It was pretty weird.
Lamar lost a sign, I think, is what it was.
Is that all?
A sign fell over somewhere.
No, it was Todd complaining. That's what
It was Todd, yeah. And he probably had insurance for that.
I'm sure he did.
So how long have you been in the insurance business?
I started when I was 21. I've been in the business now 15, 16 years, whatever it's going to be pretty soon here. So I've been doing it quite a while. We have 4 locations in the Antelope Valley, and we also have one out in Valencia and also one up in Tehachapi. So we have basically a 15-mile radius from each other, and that way we're able to service anybody and anything personally or over the phone or email or on our website or via Facebook or any way we can. You know, with the way that the insurance industry has changed, I think being able to talk to a live person is really important and valuable.
Oh, yeah. Oof.
It is. And a lot of people don't take advantage of the opportunity. You know, they just don't, and it is disconcerting because I'd like to have more conversations, even with our clients and other people, about you know, the gaps in coverage, and like we talked about earlier, it doesn't cost anything. So
You told me you were underneath a customer's home today.
I was.
I mean, Zac Cullen in his office, his work clothes,
Yeah.
and he's out there checking something out for a valued customer.
You're welcome, Marvin.
I don't want to mention his name. You're a great supporter of the community. You're probably driving in streets of Lancaster.
I was last
One of
year.
those carts.
I did before, but unfortunately, we're going to be out of town next weekend. Otherwise, I definitely would have been in it for sure.
Marvin, you're safe now.
Sorry.
And you're a member of the Chamber of Commerce.
I'm a member of all chambers of commerce.
What does that do for you? What does that do for the business?
I think being a part of being around people of like mind, I think, is what allows it to do. Being able to bounce stuff off of people that actually have similar experiences, and you know, going through those challenges of business that we all face, having that opportunity to see ways other people got out of it, having those friendly handshakes, and also having that support is a big thing. And I think not just in the chamber, but also getting involved in different boards. We're on the board of directors for the Sheriff Boosters, on the board for the Boulevard, and being able to really trying to transform the community into what we want it to be, I think is a valuable asset to me. I know that for sure, and also to have that feedback from those people on those boards is nice too, because we're all trying to make it a better place to live. So.
Better place to live. So that's where the valley's going.
I hope so. I'm trying, man. We're working on it.
Yeah. It's our home, huh?
Yeah. I have a hard time leaving it. I almost picked up a couple times, but I'm like, I can't do it. You know, I just want to make it better. So hopefully we can do it.
Positively.
Yeah.
So you belong to all the chambers of commerce,
Yes, sir.
and so you're able to go to some of the meetings or some of the events, or
Yeah. I try to make most of them. We have we have liaisons that go to all of them. I can't obviously attend everything that we're involved in, so try to make the major things that we do, and also have somebody present from our office to make sure, you know, that they're learning as well. And that's one of the things I love the most about my job, is being able to mentor and help other people step up. We've had 3 different people come from our agencies and open up their own agencies and their own locations. And
Isn't that competition?
you know, I don't look at it like that. And I think there's enough people out here to keep everybody fed, if you will. So I don't think that it's that. I'd like to see people succeed more than be greedy. You know, it's just the way it works.
Yeah, you'll probably get your share of the pie by doing it that way.
Yeah, I hope so.
So you've been in the field 15 years. You're already mentoring.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was your dad was in the insurance
Yeah,
business also?
he was an agent for since 1984, and so at the beginning I was doing some car sales and some other things, and eventually I understood and respected exactly what he had built, and luckily I was given the opportunity to kind of step into the legacy agency and be able to continue what he had done, and I value that very much. I don't think I would be in the position I'm in if it wasn't for him, and you know, we're a lot bigger than we were when he was doing it, and I know, you know, unfortunately he passed away, but I know he'd be proud of what we've accomplished with his help. So
Yeah. So that means I have a legacy flower shop.
yes, you do.
That's pretty cool. Contact information.
You can find us all over the internet at culleninsurance.com. Our phone number is 888-GREAT-RATE, or our local number is 947-9266. And we're on Facebook all over the place. Come by, check out our page. Hopefully, even if you haven't got a quote from us, you can do so pretty soon and experience the difference with our agency and that personal touch that we give.
Zac Cullen, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You bet.